Hey guys, before we get into things, please subscribe to our channel and make sure you turn on notifications so you know every time we post. And also, head over to our social pages, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram so you can see clips and chat wrestling with us. But now, let's get into the video.
What's up, everybody? One half of C2 Wrestling coming at you tonight. We got Snowden here. CTD is off on Eagles duty. He's stressing the game right now. We're coming at you with a post review. Raw, another fantastic episode. They came at us hot tonight with some segments, so I want to come at you guys hot tonight. We're getting right into it. We're going to jump around the card a little bit. Something that I want to get right into. One of my favorite segments of the night. Bronson Reed, man, Braun Strowman, that what was supposed to be a singles match between the two guys turns out to be much better than what we could have gotten in a match. They get into the ring, immediately destroy the ring. Turnbuckle comes flying off. Now, I had thought if this match were a main event, we could get something like this, a broken ring. We've seen it in the past. Hell, we've seen it in the past with Braun Strowman. But we got it in a little bit of a different fashion tonight, causing these men to go outside, getting a fan involved, getting thrown into the mix. I thought somebody was jumping into the attack. I didn't know what was going on there for a moment. That's something we've never seen, so I'm loving it. These men go through the barricade, something we see all the time. It's been great between these two. Looks like it's ended a little early. Bronson Reed is done, going to the back. He's over it. Out comes Braun Strowman from the ring, starts chasing him down, doing that little strut. It's almost laughable. It's kind of like Cody Rhodes when he does that old guy kind of run. These guys get into the mix again. Bronson Reed going over the boxes, electrical boxes, whatever you want to call them. They find their way into the back, getting put through a table, and then not only put through a table, through a wall. Stuff comes falling down from the ceiling. That is stuff we haven't gotten since Ruthless Aggression Attitude Era. Yeah, here and there it's sprinkled in, it's mixed in, but that's a segment that the kid in me would remember forever. If I'm young and I'm watching wrestling and I'm the wrestling fan that I was growing up, I'm going to look back and remember that segment for the rest of my life. I thought it was fantastic. I want nothing but more of that from these two guys. What does it mean for these two guys, Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman? I mean, I think it does lead to a matchup. Ultimately, a singles match of sorts, maybe a gimmick match, who knows, between the two of them. Does it fit Bad Blood? It kind of does now. It's crazy to think this is all a little due in part to COVID, maybe, where Bronson Reed was taken out of the Fatal 4-Way number one contenders match against Braun Breaker in favor of Braun Strowman, who was only a week prior taken out by Bronson in the tsunami on top of the car. Braun Strowman goes on to win that match, screwed by Bronson Reed, setting all this up in the first place. We've been talking a lot about Bad Blood and how Bad Blood needs Bad Blood feuds, and this is fitting the bill, in my opinion. I think if you get these two guys on the card, you do it in a last man standing match, and that's money right there. I think that's a memorable match that we will always look back at. Helps further Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. He could take the L here. It is okay. Only puts him higher up on the card, in my opinion. Puts Bronson over big time for the potential Seth Rollins return down the line. Who knows what this guy gets into next? He's been on fire. I'm loving every second of it. Another thing I wanted to get in and discuss with you guys briefly is something that is maybe a long time coming, something that maybe we really thought we would never get, but that's the potential breakup of the New Day. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods over the last few weeks, in my opinion, what's felt like months, feels like it's been going on for a while. I do kind of want them to get the ball rolling a little bit. It seems like we're getting to that point where a breakup is imminent between one of the greatest factions, tag teams of all time, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. And, there's little foreshadowing you can even check out in terms of maybe ring attires, where the New Day has always matched. But Xavier Woods is coming out wearing darker colors, black, grays, things like that. Kofi's still happy-go-lucky Kofi, wearing yellow, green, still trying to do what's right, where Xavier's got these heel tendencies, and he's not really agreeing with the Kofi Kingston method of doing things lately, where they have come to finally say that it's missing Big E. They're missing Big E, the New Day is, and they don't have that, maybe manpower in Kofi's discretion. Getting the LWO to come help them during their match in terms of the numbers against Judgment Day. Xavier Woods clearly fed up with the situation. Seems like we're going to get a turn. I don't know where they really go with this, but do you have Kofi Kingston face Xavier Woods, and then do you have them go their separate ways? I don't know if I ever thought I'd see the day where that would happen. The New Day is one of the all-time greatest tag teams factions ever. Growing up throughout the last 10, 12 years, however long it's been. And it sounds weird growing up because I'm 27, I'm an adult, but it's crazy to still kind of have grown up through that tenure of them. To see them finally come down to the breakup is a shame. A bigger shame is missing Big E. It is maybe a long time coming due to his injury. It's a shame we may never see him back in the ring again, but it is for his better health. That is okay. I'm looking forward to what's coming. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. Do I want a match between them? I really don't know. What do you do with them after the fact? Listen, maybe it's fantasy booking, but if it was up to me, I say you have Big E still return. Maybe he doesn't get in the ring. That's okay. But I say you have him come back and squash the beef between Kofi and Woods. But kind of say, in a sense of, hey, I'm over it. I'm over watching you guys, one of the two best of all time, squander. After I was gone, you guys were already established wrestlers before Big E ever came around. Maybe all he needs to do is manage them. Maybe they put the gimmick of the New Day aside and we get a heel New Day of sorts with Big E managing them. And maybe they come out on top as tag team champions again. Or I'm completely just fantasy booking and we get something totally different. Who knows? That's the glory of C2 Wrestling, baby. We're here. We're having fun. I just hit my microphone. But we got more coming at you. We got two announcements next week for Monday Night Raw. C2 announcements. We got Ludwig Kaiser going up against Sami Zayn. This is only furthering the Sami Zayn Gunther World Heavyweight title storyline, which I'm loving so far. I've seen some discourse on Twitter, X specifically, about some people liking this, some people not liking this. And listen, it seems pretty obvious that Gunther and Sami Zayn will face at some point. Sami Zayn doing the I deserve the shot, I want a shot, I've beat you before, you're scared storyline. Gunther denying him a shot, saying he's not worthy. Is Gunther scared? Is Sami Zayn really the only one that can beat him? Who knows? Tough to say. Gunther eventually, I think, gives in and gives him the title shot. Sami Zayn seems like the best person to have Gunther lose to. The only person to beat Gunther in his 666-day Intercontinental title run. We are on the fact of saying that Gunther is the greatest of all time. We are Gunther stands here at C2 Wrestling. But there has been someone to defeat him recently, and that's Sami Zayn. Beat him at WrestleMania for the IC title in a great matchup. They're going to put on another great matchup. Even if you're not a fan of the story, we are in for a great match. What a better name for Gunther to take off the table, for him to put down and cement his legacy as one of the best World Heavyweight Champions of all time. The only guy that could beat him in his Intercontinental title run in Sami Zayn. Now, leading into next week is also another title matchup. Similar stature, in my opinion, with the build in a way. I'm going to get into this. Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, Jey Uso, the vet. Braun Breaker, green, rookie. Both have family ties into wrestling. Jey Uso's been around for 12 years. Braun Breaker's done his homework. He knows that. That's where his dogs are at tonight, so he can tell them all that. Braun Breaker didn't need the Steiners in order to get where he is, where Jey Uso's had the bloodline, had his family around him his whole career. Where this is similar to Sami Zayn and Gunther is that I think the champions are likely to retain here. Braun Breaker, again, likely to beat Jey Uso for the Intercontinental title. I think it's going to be a great matchup, though. I think it only further cements Braun Breaker. Now, I'm not usually a fan of hot potatoing the title around, but if you're ever going to do it, this match is where it maybe makes the most sense for Braun Breaker to have a slip-up loss to Jey Uso. Jey Uso can then play up the vet instinct that it took to beat you for the title. You were green. I told you so. And then in a further down the line rematch, you could have Jey Uso get decimated by Braun Breaker, winning the title back, really cementing Braun Breaker as champion. I know he kind of did this exactly in NXT with the likes of Dolph Ziggler, but it's at a different level now, being on the main roster, being on TV. Braun Breaker really is one of the best of all time. Let's hear it down below in the comments. Braun Breaker, Jey Uso, who do you think's coming out on top next week? Where are the dogs at? Or are you yeeting all the way to the Intercontinental title run for Jey Uso? And the last thing we're going to get into tonight, guys, to close the show, we had Judgment Day's own Dominic Mysterio take on Damian Priest in what's been a long-awaited matchup. This is all to lead into the tag team match of Priest and Rhea, the Terror Twins, versus Liv and Dom at Bad Blood. This was a typical ending to Monday Night Raw. I think there was better stuff on the show tonight than what had ended the show, and that's okay. It's not always going to be the best thing in the main event. But this was a little just filler to get to the Bad Blood matchup. Clearly, we have Damian Priest and Rhea with no friends going against the Judgment Day. Well, they got one friend in Jey Uso. Who comes out to attack Jey Uso? None other than his number one contender, or he's the number one contender, no other than his Intercontinental Champion, I should say, Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker takes out Jey Uso, leaving Damian and Rhea in the ring. Numbers advantage. Joe Tessitore makes the call. Tarrant Twins taken out by Judgment Day yet again. Again, a little bit of filler, sure. This only leads into the Bad Blood match. I'm liking this feud. I'm liking for them to get a move on with it as well. I don't know what's to come after the Bad Blood match. I still think a Finn Damian match is supposed to happen. I still think a not Damian, Dominic Rhea match is going to happen at points. But I don't know when. I don't know how long they're going to stretch these things out. Mania is a long time coming. It's soon, but it's a long time coming. In the world of pro wrestling, they can make it work. In day-to-day life, it feels like it would take forever for them to stretch these things out. I think they could. I think they will. But I don't hope they do. I want them to kind of get a move on here and maybe get Judgment Day involved in something else, something new. I don't know really where to go with Damian and Rhea, but after you have this Bad Blood match, the door is wide open for all these competitors. Tag team titles hopefully start getting mixed up, tossed around a little bit more. They were defended against the New Day tonight, retained JD and Finn. Hopefully, we see those belts change hands at some point. Anyways, for tonight, that was your Raw review. There was a lot more that went on in between all of the main points, all the main topics I discussed with you tonight. One man show at the moment. C2 Wrestling will return with the both of us, Chris and Chris, CTD and Snowden. When we got both of us, we can get into more. These matches, these events, they all got a lot on the show to cover. It's a lot to go over. There was a lot with the women tonight as well, some minor stuff with Elia. There's more to get into. What I want to do is I want to discuss it. Comment down below, guys. Hit us up on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X. Follow, like, and subscribe. You guys already know the vibes. C2 Wrestling is where you get the best wrestling content on YouTube. We ain't stopping. We ain't going anywhere. And can't even speak. I'm so excited. We ain't going anywhere. C2 Wrestling, baby.